It's so funny. I've done two of these now in the Mariners press box. I just hope I want them to do stuff, but I hope they don't, so it's not too loud. Um, Welcome back to Right as Rain. I'm here with Maddie Prohaska, who has, today has signed an extension by the time this is being recorded. Maddie, thank you for taking the time. Uh, it's been a lot for you over the past month or so. I mean, we talk about U23 call up, when you get the first start, there's an extension now. I guess first and foremost, how are you handling everything? Because I'm sure this can be a lot to just kind of take everything in and process it, in addition to you being a professional.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just so grateful, honestly. I think me a year ago would never even believe where I'm at right now. I was just starting my college senior season a year ago now, and so I always had these dreams and these aspirations, but there's just such a fulfilling feeling to see it come to life. And I think I've worked really hard throughout my college career and now being here on staying in the moment, which seems really easy, but unfortunately is not the easiest thing when you're playing in sport and life is coming 100 miles an hour. So I feel like this past month, I've just really done a lot of reflection and journaling and just trying to stay in the moment because, like, at the end of the day, like, I am living my dream. I get to come play soccer every day with people that I love and in a city that I love. And so I'm just really grateful at the end of the day, and just staying in the moment has really kind of been the key to appreciating it all.
It's been really interesting, in the press release quote that you had from your extension, you mentioned the environment here, and listening to I'll get the proper name. I think it was the Girls Edge podcast.
Yeah, the female edge.
Um, Female Edge, thank you.
Yeah.
Talked about the environment in Auburn and how it challenged you. You had to challenge yourself, helped you grow. I wanted to ask further about that environment and how maybe it's helped you grow, helped you, become a better keeper, a better person, because so often, covering the rain, we've heard about this environment and the culture at this club. So I just want to hear from you if there's any similarities in the two environments, and just mainly what the rain environment has been like to you, and how you've personally experienced it so far. Because obviously there's more season to go and another year now to go.
Yeah, I think college really taught me a lot about myself and how to present in an environment and go through the ups and downs of whatever that looks like. In college, I was grateful enough to be a starter for 5 years or 5 seasons, but that's not my reality here. But I learned so much about how to be a good teammate, how to show up for the people around me. And I think that's the most important thing when trying to make an environment something special. I think soccer is so fun, but for me, it's so fun because of the people I get to play with and getting to cheer them on and supporting them and growing with them and learning with them and all those things in between. And I think Seattle Reign really encompasses that and lets me lean into that side of myself, which I'm really grateful for because not just in the goalkeeper union, which obviously is phenomenal with the people I get to learn from and work with, but also just the team in general. It's a really great collective, and getting to kind of step from my college environment into here and having this be my first experience is something that I'm really grateful for, and I think will take me a really long way in my career.
I want to stick with the goalkeeper sort of thing there, because you mentioned the goalkeeper union. You hear that. I always love talking to goalies, whether that's in soccer or hockey. They're a little bit. Well, it was interesting on the female edge. You talked about how there's the perception of goalies being kind of weird. I'm like, oh, it's the same thing in hockey. Um, I just specifically this group though, with Claudia and with Cassie. I know Cassie, unfortunately, has been dealing with an injury, but just obviously she's nominated for the Lauren Holiday Impact Award. So we know what she can do off the field, and the presence that she is. Just can you tell us personally what it's been like with those two? Because we've seen Claudia have this sort of almost meteoric rise, it feels like, this year with all she's accomplished, and she's still so young. And with Cassie, this is a veteran that's seen the NWSL for years and how this league has grown. So just what has it been like for you personally to have those two goalkeepers, I would say, on different ends? One younger, one more experienced. Because I think you mentioned in the same show that, it's all very competitive, but you're pushing each other, right? It's not I'm working to be better than you. It's we are all trying to improve as a collective.
Yeah, I think we're really grateful to have someone like Lloyd. I think he really facilitates an environment that encourages us to show up as our best selves and push each other. And I think there's a lot of transparency too on what our roles are and how we can best show up for each other, which is really great in an environment where you are competing for one spot. It's not like I can just slide into being a defender or anything like that. So it's all of us fighting for one spot, but I think the way he just like encompasses our roles and makes us understand how we can better the group is something that doesn't go unnoticed. And I think he deserves a lot of credit for the group he's put together. But I think from a more specific standpoint, getting to look up to someone like Claudia and Cassie is just really special for my first year. I think the way Cassie has encompassed being a two this season has really shown me the kind of teammate and goalkeeper I want to be in any group. I think the way she's treated me, no matter I was day one or now we're here and now I'm supporting her getting back on the field. I think the relationship that we have has just made me appreciate how awesome a goalkeeper group can really be and how awesome it is to just buy into someone else. I think when I grow up and I get to mentor a young goalkeeper in the league, like I will envision myself the way Cassie had treated me over the past couple months. And I think for Claudia, having someone like that to look up to and strive from a technical and tactical standpoint is really important. And I mean, the work that she's been putting in and getting the call ups and everything is very earned. And so I think getting to cheer her on and kind of be in her corner while she's accomplishing some of the best moments of her career is something that I'll definitely cherish.
That was something that's fascinated me so much about, researching you and knowing a little about you as the season's gone on is your dedication. It's in the release about your extension, but your dedication to development and growth. But it sounds like you are really someone that wants to give back. That obviously we're a long time away from that, I'm sure, but maybe we want to coach at some point, to help kind of pass down. Why is that something that's so important to you? Because, it's great, of course, but you could easily be like, hey, I'm focused on my career right now. I'm not looking at anything else, and focus on yourself. But it does sound like this is something that you want to do. You are actively trying to help pass things on and be helpful in that regard. Is there something that spawned that? Was a great coach that you might have had, or what inspires this want to give back?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's hard to pick one exact moment, but I know I've mentioned it maybe in a couple other places, but I in college and pre-college was very soccer focused, and all that mattered was soccer to me. And I gave up a lot of things from a family standpoint and a friend standpoint, which obviously sacrifices needed to make it to this level to some degree. But I think I was a little crazy, a little bit sometimes, and gave up maybe a little too much. And I think my sophomore year of college, I really learned about separating who I am as a person from who I am as a soccer player. And it's a difference that I think serves a lot of great athletes. And I was unfortunately had to go through that very young and went through some mental health stuff. But I think on the flip side, it was a moment that really changed the trajectory of my life and really showed me how important it is to be a good person and be a good teammate. And I mean, at the end of the day, like you don't remember the saves or the shutouts or all these stats, but you remember the people you got to impact. And I think that's something I learned so much at Auburn is how important the community and the people and just what it means to buy into something so much bigger than yourself. And I think through all of that, getting to learn that experience has really just set me up here and being able to just buy into the people around me now. And I think I get so much fulfillment from it, which is why I feel like I can just show up and be my best self every day because I genuinely get so excited getting to cheer my teammates on and getting people back from injury. Like their success and their big moments like feel just as big to me. And I'm really grateful that I got to learn that, but it definitely didn't come easy. And sometimes there's moments I'm like, I wish I didn't do that when I was younger or acted this way to that person, but I really do feel like I put a lot of work into myself and I'm really proud of like the person I show up as every day now.
First and foremost, and on a personal note, I do appreciate, the vulnerability side of it because it's a lot, right? You are in a position, you do have a platform. So I'm sure it's valuable to anyone that might watch you or might follow you to know that you can speak up about it and to be honest about it. It's always cool when I see athletes do that. So I wanted to, show appreciation for that. Kind of in a like growth similar vein, what how do you think you've grown, whether it be as a keeper or as a person, since the trialist period? Because I know a lot has happened. It feels like years ago when we were at Starfire and there was like frozen dew on the turf, and we are just getting to see you guys out there. how would you say that Maddie has grown since then? Because it's a lot. It like the NWSL season is a trek. I know you know that more than I do, even in your first year, right? So I'm sure a lot of growth can happen over the course of, I would say just a few months, but yeah, over this last few months. What would you say? Where do you say you've grown maybe the most?
Yeah, I think that I kind of had this expectation for myself, and I think that's okay sometimes to have expectations on what direction you're gonna head or how you see your growth and having goals and stuff. But I also think that I exceeded my own expectations to a degree. I think I came in with the mentality of just showing up as my best self and being a good goalkeeper while doing that. And I think that's still my mentality. I think I play my best when I'm kind of focused on the people around me and not all in my own head. But I also think I would have never expected the opportunity just to come like camp or even getting to play in my first professional game. And I even said it after that game. I was just so grateful to have the trust and the opportunity because they didn't have to do that and they just saw something in me, and I am very grateful for that. And I think the mindset that I've come in with every day is being my best self. And I never thought that could take me so far, honestly. And I, at the beginning, when I was a trialist, really had to stay in the moment because if I'm all focused on getting this contract or not getting it, what am I going to do next? It's a fast spiral. And I'm not saying it was an easy mindset to have all the time, but it was one that I really trained myself to practice actively in that moment of life. And so I think it kind of just became, how I stayed present focused and what it actually carried me into after the contract, staying present focused and not worrying about what was next or how am I ever going to get minutes or what does next year look like. And I think that ability to stay where my feet are has really served me the opportunity to just appreciate everything that I've gotten so far.
Promise it won't all be heavy. I'll start to wind you down a little bit because I know we've talked about some more heavy stuff. What has it been like kind of with this group, particularly the Maddies, because it was noted when were brought on as the third keeper that there's a Maddie on every line here. And there to go back to your start, I will throw in the clip, from the press conference about you talking about that because there was some good stuff in there. I really enjoyed hearing that from you. But there was a point where every Maddie slash Madison was on the field. So I don't know. You don't have to buy into that. I know there's a few folks who get a good kick out of that, but this group specifically seems like such a special group. There's so many veterans. We're also in this newish era of the Reign where there's so many young players, you know, folks who are a lot younger than us who are playing. So I guess a little bit on the locker room side. You can touch on the Maddies if you'd like. If you'd like to go into the Maddie verse, you can. But just your thoughts on this group as we prepare for Portland, and maybe if you've gotten any idea on that rivalry, because I know this will be your. There was the friendly, I get it, but this will be your first like real Portland rivalry match.
Yeah, I think it's funny with the Maddies because I actually was one of five Maddies in college as well. And I know that is crazy. So we always had nicknames like, so for people, it was really crazy that there were a lot of Maddies around me, but in college, it was just normal. So it didn't even faze me when there were so many Maddies. So it's really funny to bring it up because even our photographer was like, I tried to get a picture of all you guys on the field at the same time, but it was so hard because you guys were never near each other. But no, I think the camaraderie and even like the jokes going around how many Maddies we have just like goes to show the locker room that we have. I feel like from our youngest to our oldest player, there's just a sense of drive and the same mission focused kind of attitude. And it doesn't matter what that mission is on that day. I think we're really bought into whatever it looks like. And I think having trust in our veteran players and having trust in our coaching staff is something that goes a really long way, especially the duration of a long season. And I think we've really put the foundation down at the beginning of the season, heading into this second half, that'll really propel us and be something that we can always fall back on. And especially the Portland rivalry. I think it's funny because yes, it is my first Portland rivalry game in Portland, but I come from Auburn, which had the Auburn-Alabama rivalry, which if you're from the South, you know it just means something different. And I'm from the Midwest originally, but man, did I buy into that rivalry, and it's something I still hold very, very close to my heart. So being in a rivalry game is just something that feels like second nature to me, and something that's just always so much fun, such an honor to just have something that means so much more. And even when we were in the rivalry game, like I'm in the huddle before, and I was so excited, and I was like, it's just a friendly, like whatever, but. It's just there's something so special about having something more to play for in the middle of the season. A season can be long. There's not always a championship every game, and so just having kind of that little thing to keep the vibes high, the energy going. I'm always going to buy into something like that.
That is a very good point. Yeah, I was looking to see if maybe you'd played any of your teammates in your career, because I know there are a few different schools here and there that maybe Auburn clashed with, but yeah, that's a good point with the Bama rivalry. That is, even as someone out here with Washington, I know you're kind of in Big Ten country when you were growing up. We're seeing some of that and trying to get
Yeah.
used to the Big Ten. To close you out, you know, folks can follow you on Instagram at m.proha.
Proha, yeah.
I'll put it in the description. Can you tell us about Ryoko Rain? What is that? I might have messed up the pronunciation, but there's a link in your bio and
Yeah.
it's got seemingly a tab for you. Is this a brand that you know, something that you're involved in? Anything further on that, and maybe anything else that you want Rain fans to know about you as we close things up today?
Yeah, no, that's a brand that I thankfully get to work with a little bit, and they have great clothes. I personally love their shorts. They work a lot with basketball, and I've always grown up with a basketball household. My sister still plays, so it kind of just something, and it's fun because she obviously has worn their stuff as well. So it's fun to just kind of have a little family thing going. But no, they're really great. I think I always just try and align myself with brands that kind of have the same values as me, and I think that's one that really lines up with who I am, and I'm grateful I get to work with them and a bunch of other really great brands.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. It's been really cool to watch your career. One, when you were trialist, I was like, one of these goalkeepers has like standout hair. I don't know too much about that, but I was like, that is not Claudia. So that's someone else. Who is this? And obviously seeing everything that you've been involved in now, the extension. It's always really fun to watch the journey. So I appreciate you coming on. And yeah, we'll see maybe for anyone else who on the roster, I'm sure that like Lou and Jess and any other more veteran players are drilling the importance of this rivalry in. But if you need to help out, I know you can because you've got that rivalry experience. So I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. I had so much fun, and I'll see you soon.
Hey, Charles.
Hey, Jen.
Hey, we're going to watch all the away games for Seattle Reign FC this year.
Away games. Well, since Rough and Tumble is the home of Circling Seattle Sports, I was thinking of coming here if that's okay with you.
I think that makes a lot of sense. See y'all here.